I'd once again like to extend a very warm welcome from Cape Town in South Africa. It's a very cold and wet evening tonight, but I've had the privilege of being involved with Visionary for just over a year, and what I can say is that the plans and the concepts that were originally spoken about are already starting to come to fruition, and we're seeing a lot of developments that have taken place over the last 12 or 13 months. And I can only say that I'm very confident in the management team and all the leadership that are behind Visionary in all the things that have actually rolled out over the last few months. Just got a problem with the slides changing, so just give me one moment here. Okay, what I'm going to do is just go through an introduction to Visionary and also talk about CapriCoin and the CapriPay payment system that has recently been launched. What we're going to cover tonight on the webinar is firstly how technology is changing the world. Talk a bit about what cryptocurrency is, because for many people that is new terminology. To talk about Bitcoin, which is the very first cryptocurrency that emerged, and how CapriCoin, being a second generation cryptocurrency, has certain advantages over some of the other cryptocurrencies. And then we'll talk about CapriPay as a payment solution and also as a loyalty program. And finally, we'll just bring together the concept of Visionary, CapriCoin, and CapriPay, and then just end off with some information about the event in Spain. Well, there's no doubt that the world that we live in today is changing very radically. And we're moving now from the information age into the digital age, where mobile apps are making an impact on business and whole industries are in fact changing. It all started with the internet, which has changed the way we communicate. It has really revolutionized the social media, also the news, the alternative news that we can now receive, the way we advertise, how we book our travel and shopping, and really how we do business. The internet has also made disruptive technologies possible, and here are two examples. The first being Airbnb, which is the largest hotelier in the world, but it owns no hotels. It just links those looking for accommodation with those providing accommodation. The second one is Uber, which is the largest taxi company in the world, which owns no taxis. Again, they use a mobile app to link those looking for transport and those who provide it. Now, a revolution is also happening in the financial and in the currency system, which is the largest global market in the world. It's a market that's worth over $90 trillion. The banks and the monetary system are centrally controlled. And if we look back in history, central control has always been challenged. And cryptocurrencies are really changing the way we exchange goods and services. It's creating an alternative to the monetary system. It's giving us the opportunity to decentralize money. And cryptocurrencies, all they do is represent a digital value of money on the internet. And it can be seen as internet money. So what is cryptocurrency? Well, it's digital money. It's an electronic means of payment, of storing wealth, and transferring money from one person to another. Crypto in Greek means secret, so really we're talking about secret money. And it used cryptography to ensure that transactions are secure, and although there's no identity, there is public transactions. So you can actually see the transactions taking place, but you don't know who is making those transactions. And it gives us the opportunity to transact directly from one person to another, so that there's no third party such as a bank involved in that exchange. It's not only a medium of exchange, it's also an exchange system. And the value of cryptocurrency is determined by demand and supply. And although it's not consistently regulated in all countries, because in some countries it's determined as a commodity, and in other countries as a currency. There's no doubt that cryptocurrency will do to the banks what the email has done to the postal service, to lower the costs, to ensure a faster service, to decentralize. It's reliable and it's private. And the post office and the banks are becoming dinosaurs. In fact, very recently I was reading an article where the Deutsche Bank, one of the largest banks in Germany, is closing down 188 branches, and many other banks are following in that track. So money is flowing digitally in more and more cases. We are facing an economic crisis because banks are going to close in the years to come. Countries will go bankrupt, and unfortunately people will lose their life savings. And I'm saying this because it's already happened before, and it's going to happen again. And we can just look at some of the examples in the world. In Iceland, the country went bankrupt. In fact, many bank managers were jailed for fraudulent activities. In Cyprus, it was one of the first countries in which bail-in applied, which means that the banks confiscated the deposits of their customers. And I don't think many people realize that once you put your money in the bank, it no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the bank, and it's really just an IOU. In Argentina, prices doubled overnight. In Greece, as recently as last year, capital controls were implemented, and the population of the community were only able to withdraw 60 euro a day. In Zimbabwe in 2008, they experienced hyperinflation. In fact, the inflation rate was something in the region of 87.6 trillion%, and that's with 21 zeros behind it. Zimbabwe is also in a major problem at the moment with cash shortages, and there is problems that are happening throughout the country and in the streets. Venezuela is also a country that's going through some major problems at the moment with hyperinflation. So as I say, this has happened before, and it's only when it really gets close to home that people start to take notice. But all economic indicators are pointing towards a global recession and a currency collapse. And I like this warning from Simon Black when he said, will you be prepared when everything we take for granted changes overnight? Will you be prepared, for example, when the banks confiscate your deposits, your monies that you have there? Let's have a look at some of the problems in the global financial markets. Well, the dollar's depreciated by 88% over the last 56 years. The national debt in America is now $19 trillion. And that debt is in fact more than the GDP. In Europe and the UK, the debt is in fact equal to the GDP. And in Japan, the national debt is 2.5 times the gross domestic product. So depreciation erodes the value of money. It's a way of taxing people. And when expenses exceed income, and I think we all know this from our own personal situation, it leads to insolvency, to bankruptcy. And this is where the world is heading. Personal debt in America has reached record levels. Credit card debt is now over $1 trillion. Financial slavery has really become a reality. and people are working to service their debt, to pay their expenses, and not because of their own passion. Modern slaves are not in chains. They are in debt. And as I said, people are working to cover their debt, to cover their expenses. We can't change what happens in the economy, but we do have control over the choices that we make. So make your choice wisely and prepare yourself for a currency collapse, and consider diversifying into smart money. Now, what is smart money? Well, cryptocurrency is a way of ensuring your finances and protecting your wealth. It is one way of doing that. Bitcoin has really paved the way for us. And as Roger Ver has said, Bitcoin is the most important invention in the history of the world since the internet. So let's have a look at Bitcoin, the very first cryptocurrency. It was established in 2009 by a person or people by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody really knows who he or she or they are. But what is important is that the value of the Bitcoin went from only 1 American cent to now over $600. In fact, I think it's trading around about $650 to $670 at the moment. So had you invested $100 in 2009, this would be worth well over $6 million in 2016. Bitcoin has also been accepted by many merchants around the world, in fact over 600,000, and many brand names that are accepting Bitcoin as a payment solution. And if you look at the graph below, you can see that for the first 3 years, there was very little movement in the value of the money. And then suddenly, in 2013, in fact, it spiked at over $1,000, and it's now trading below that level, but it's likely to increase further. In fact, only recently, a couple of weeks ago, the mining of Bitcoin was actually halved. So that will have an impact in time on the value of Bitcoin. But really, having spoken about that, we now have another opportunity to plug into this new technology. And that new technology that was developed by Bitcoin is called blockchain, which is just really an online ledger. So what I want to do now is introduce you to CapriCoin, because this is an instant digital payment solution, and it's also going to be a new global currency, because we've got the technology, we've got the marketing strategy to take it to the mainstream global market. There will be many cryptocurrencies. We're not saying that CapriCoin will be the only one, but it is a unique brand. It's the very first one which has the technology and the marketing plan to take it to the global mainstream market. It has its own blockchain technology, and today, exactly a year ago, it was launched on 2 external cryptocurrency exchanges. So it has an independent market value valued on those exchanges, which is Bittrex and Blue Trade. So people can buy and sell their CapriCoins on that exchange without going through Visionary at all. So cryptocurrency is a language which expresses a value, and that value is to exchange things of value. Now, Visionary brought CapriCoin to the market in 2015, and Visionary is really the mining and the marketing arm of CapriCoin. The first coins which were allocated on the 16th of March last year, and at that time 174 CapriCoins were allocated per slot. Over a 10-year period, only 200 million CapriCoins will be mined and will be allocated. But an additional 8 million CapriCoins will be used to reward members for verifying transactions through the blockchain. As I said, CapriCoin is listed on 2 external cryptocurrency exchanges, which was on the 20th of July 2015. Those are Bittrex and Blue Trade. Now, CapriCoin is a dual hybrid coin, which means that It has proof of work, which is the work that goes into mining the coin, and also proof of stake, which is the work of verifying transactions on the internet. Here's an example of a wallet that is proof of stake. You can see in this wallet there's 4,291 CapriCoins, and just by having that wallet open on a desktop PC or a laptop, these wallets verify transactions that take place when coins are transferred from one wallet to another, and the member is then rewarded with a portion of a CapriCoin for every verification, and this can be quite lucrative. Here's an example of our CapriPay mobile application where we can actually use this facility to transact and to pay merchants from our CapriCoin wallet. We'll look at a little bit of that a little bit later. So CapriCoin gives power back to the people, and it eliminates the abuse of power that we see that takes place through the centralization of power. It has low transaction costs, very fast transactions. You can send CapriCoins anywhere in the world within just a few seconds. There's no chargebacks, so there's no risk involved in once you've made a transaction, that is it. It's also exchangeable into fiat currency, so anywhere in the world you'll be able to translate or transfer your CapriCoins into a local fiat currency, whether it be dollars or euros or whatever country you're in. It's also a decentralized currency, and it's also inflation proof because there's a fixed money supply. As I said, there's only 200 million coins that will be mined over a 10-year period, and scarcity and demand will always ensure that the CapriCoin appreciates in value. But what does give CapriCoin its value? Well, there's two real things. One is its usefulness as a currency, and as I said, we have the technology to make it a useful currency, something that we can use every day to purchase goods and services. And the second thing is scarcity of supply. As I said, there's only 200 million coins that will be allocated over the next 9 years that is left. So it's really demand and supply that determines the value. And that can be determined on the external exchange because that will give it a value, and also through its usefulness and its utility in the CapriCoin economy, which is our own ecosystem. CapriCoin is designed to appreciate in value. So what if you had a currency that just appreciated in value rather than one that devalues over time? So that what you can purchase with a CapriCoin in 2016 will give you a lot more in the years that lie ahead. Now let's have a look at the differences between Bitcoin and CapriCoin in terms of the advantages and the benefits that we do have. With Bitcoin, there was no strategy to bring it to the market at all. That's why I said for the first 3 years it had pretty much a flat line. With CapriCoin, we have a formal marketing strategy through VIZIONARY, and our membership base is growing rapidly every day. Secondly, mining and verification costs are increasing with Bitcoin because it's the miners themselves that have to verify any transactions. And it's estimated the costs are escalating rapidly and could be in the region of about $60 million per month. With CapriCoin, the resources used will never increase because it's our e-wallets that does the verification, and it does it behind the scenes without any active involvement. Bitcoin, there was no collective effort. With CapriCoin, we have a global effort via our network. With Bitcoin, verification of transactions takes time, where in CapriCoin, those transactions are instant and you can actually transfer money from one person to another within a few seconds. With Bitcoin, it's also very difficult to convert into local fiat currency, and with CapriCoin, we're going to have an instant conversion process through a mobile application. And finally, Bitcoin has been very volatile. It's fluctuated in price because it's been seen as an investment, whereas we have designed the Capricoin as a transaction currency for everyday use. So we would like to see a gradual appreciation in value rather than a large volatile fluctuation. Now, this is the management team of Visionary. Tahir Ali is the CEO of Topsites. He is behind the development of the whole software process. Andy Morbitzer is the president, and he's also the master distributor. He's from America. Jesper Benson from Denmark is the network strategic advisor. Frode Berg is the CEO and the visionary behind Visionary. And Ladislav Pasteur is the CFO. So we've got a well-balanced management team with expertise not only in management but also in the network marketing industry. Now, if you're interested in joining Visionary, you need to buy a mining package, and you can buy a bronze, silver, gold, platinum, or a Visionary package. Each one has its own euro price, and each one has its own mining slots, and every mining slot will allocate a certain number of coins to you. Every week, 500,000 Capricoins are in a pool, and that pool is divided by the number of slots that mine in that week. At the moment, we're looking at between 10 and 20 coins per slot, but we anticipate that that will decline rapidly over time. So now is the best time to get involved, because you're going to get the maximum number of coins at the moment. Each package also brings with it a certain amount of commission value, and that is what determines the payment in the binary system. And again, each package has a maximum number of mining slots that you can mine per week. So let's have a look at the compensation plan. I'm just going to look very briefly at, and as an overview, because there's also some passive income streams as well. In fact, there are 12 income streams, and 5 of which are passive. But firstly, you have a direct sales commission of 10%, and 70% of that can be taken in cash, while 30% needs to be reinvested into mining and acquiring more Capricoin. There's also a binary commission structure which pays between 50 and 80 euro per step when you have 500 CV on each leg on a weekly basis. The high cap is 32,000 euros per week. There's also a matching bonus which can be paid down to infinity. It's fully automated mining, and Visionary does all the mining for you. You set your slots 10 weeks in advance, so it saves you time and money, and you don't need to invest in any significant equipment at all. So you get your Capricoins from the weekly Visionary mining pool. As I said, it's allocated on a weekly basis. You now have the opportunity to load your Capricoins into your e-wallet before they become a mainstream currency and before they really appreciate significantly in value. At the moment, the coins are probably at around about 30 cents, $30 on the exchange, and they've already appreciated over 600% since it launched in a year ago exactly today at around about $4. I want to look now at CapriPay, which is really the first cryptocurrency payment solution. It has its own integrated loyalty program and also a mobile digital wallet. It is a fast, secure, and easy way to make payment. And this is the payment platform, the payment system. Whereas Capricoin is the cryptocurrency, CapriPay is actually the wallet and the app and the merchant cashback process. CapriPay, really the first cryptocurrency payment solution with an integrated cashback using a globally respected cryptocurrency. So that's really what it's about. It's also a loyalty program, and it's designed to empower merchants to develop and promote their business. These are some of the benefits. There's no transaction fees. It has a free payment solution with cashback. So it does away with cash deposit fees, credit card charges, and other fees as well. It also benefits the merchant's customers because the customer receives benefit every time there's a purchase made. The loyalty program also notifies 5 people every time a purchase is made. So that's another way really of promoting the business through the CapriPay system. And really it's there to help grow a business, able to send your customers information about new products and offers and deals. It's a promotional loyalty program. So what are the costs? And maybe we need to look at the fine print of that. What are the costs for a merchant? Well, there's no startup cost. There's no application cost. There's no monthly cost. There's no annual cost. And there's no transaction cost. So can anybody lose here? Well, there's no fee to get started. There's no joining fee or admin fee. And there's no application fee. There's no losers. It's actually impossible to lose. In fact, the only losers will be the merchants and the consumers who don't participate in the program. So with a 100% free loyalty program and also a payment solution that we're offering merchants, it's really a no-brainer. This is what the app will look like, the application on your mobile phone, your cell phone. And it has several facilities. It's got all the information about the amount of money that you have in your wallet. You can convert it to any foreign currency that you want by clicking on the link above it. It indicates the cash back that is paid every time somebody goes shopping at any of the merchants, and you get cash back on that, or if you purchase yourself. There's notifications of all transactions, and there's also a map so that you can see where the merchants are located. Now this is the loyalty program and how it works. And this is, in this example, we're saying if a person spends €100 at a merchant that is a CapriPay merchant, and that merchant, for example, gives 10% cash back, that means that €10 is given in cash back, and 100% of that cashback is paid out to the network. Now the customer themselves will get 75% of the discount as cashback, and that cashback is paid in CapriCoins. The facility for a customer now to pay in fiat currency, whether it be euros, dollars, or wherever you are in the world, and then still receive the cashback in CapriCoins, will be available within the next few weeks. The person who introduced the customer will also get 5% of that discount, and the person who introduced that person will get 5%. On the merchant side, the person who actually introduced the merchant will get 5% whenever anybody spends money in the CapriPay system. And the person who introduced the merchant will also get 5%. And then 1 CV is generated into the VIZIONARY binary system for every 75 euro cents of cashback that goes out. So you can see how powerful that is in terms of generating an affiliate fee for introducing both customers and merchants, and also for generating commissionable value in the binary system. Now it's very easy to introduce a customer and a merchant because, as I said, it is free. It's free for both, and all you have to do is get them to link up your CapriPay wallet with theirs. We've also got a special until the end of this year where the amount of affiliate fee paid to the people who introduce the customers and the merchant is doubled, so it's now 10% instead of 5%, and the amount of CV that goes into the binary system goes up by 5 times. So you're getting 5 CV for every 75 euro cents that are spent. And that, so for example, if somebody spends €100, you would get 50 CV in the compensation plan, which is the same as actually a bronze member joining the Visionary business. Until the end of the year, 115% of the cashback is going to be returned to the network. And there's no qualification required in order to earn that. This is a pamphlet that is available for the merchants to hand to their customers to explain exactly how it works. And there's two ways in which a customer can be linked to the merchant. When they go in to make their purchase, they can download the app onto their phone and scan it against the merchant's QR code on their mobile or their tablet, and they'll immediately be linked to them for life. And they'll immediately receive the cashback for that purchase in CapriCoin. A second way of doing this, and this is for businesses that are pretty busy, instead of actually going through the whole process in the shop, they can give their email address and will be sent an email later, and the purchases that they made at that shop at that time will then be credited with the cashback, and they will receive that as well. So those are the two ways in which a customer can be linked to a merchant. We're going to be seeing a lot of these CapriPay logo signs around the world very soon, which just shows that the merchant is a CapriPay merchant and is offering cashback to the customers. Now this is a forecast of where we're going with the system. This CRM system is to ensure that we reach and we engage with our customers, analyze and bind them and reward them. By 2018, it's estimated that we'll have 20 million customers on board with the CapriPay system. And that's going to be easy enough to achieve, especially as it's a free app that they download. We plan to have 100,000 merchants at that time as well, which also is very achievable and I believe very conservative. So let's have a look at Visionary, CapriCoin and CapriPay. As I said, Visionary is the mining and the marketing arm for CapriCoin. It allocates that to members on a weekly basis. CapriCoin is the currency that has no borders and very little costs in terms of transacting funds from one wallet to another. And then we have the CapriPay, which is the wallet, and it is the payment system with an integrated loyalty program which offers cashback in CapriCoins. So really what you need to do is position yourself ahead of the digital revolution. We've seen the Bitcoin wave. It's really peaked. And we don't want to miss the next big wave. We don't want to miss the set, because we are sitting where people were sitting in Bitcoin 6 or 7 years ago. We have the opportunity now of acquiring CapriCoin at a very low cost. I want to just talk about the events, the member events in Benidorm, Spain. We had a promotion in September last year, and this was the management team and some of the leaders from around the world who attended. And it was an excellent event. As I said earlier, it was a time when the vision of Visionary was laid out, and we've now seen how that has rolled out globally. This event this year is going to be held from the 8th of September till the 12th of September at a really nice resort, a very Spanish designed resort, looking very, very nice. It's a 5-star hotel, a place where you can have sundowners, and even if you bring your golf clubs, you can have a game of golf because there's 2 golf courses surrounding it. Now the qualification is in terms of the amount of CV that you've generated, not only for your own introductions, but also for those in your generational bonus. The qualifying period has been extended now to the 7th of August, So there's an additional 2 weeks that have been added on. Even if you don't qualify, or if you don't qualify for the full amount, you can pay for yourself. The approximate costs we estimated would be about €2,000, depending on where you're traveling from. And as I said, it's from the 8th to the 12th of September. So really the time is now. The time is now to get involved. You may have missed the Bitcoin train, but you haven't missed the Capricoin bullet train, the one that's really going to go at great speed and very smooth ride. So you hold your financial future in your hands. The only question that I ask you is, are you ready? Richard Branson said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, say yes, then learn how to do it later. And that's how many of us got involved with Visionary. For me, the word cryptocurrency was a foreign concept, and over the last 12 to 13 months, I've learned a lot about the industry, about the cryptocurrency, and really the opportunities that lie before us. So that really brings us to the end of the presentation on Visionary, on CapriPay. And all I can say is that I wish you well on the journey. Join us on the journey if you're not already there. And we look forward to seeing you in Spain if you plan on coming this year. If you don't make it this year, we can always see you in the years to come. So thanks again for attending tonight, and I wish you well. Good night.